guys, today we have yet another concealer review. Yeah, we're just basically a concealer review channel at this point, and maybe some foundations thrown in for fun. Today's concealer du jour is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I have the shade Pure Ivory, which is a little yellow for me, but we're making it work. This is yet another one of those Longwear bulletproof, just tough concealers, like I think Shape Tape, Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Though I would say this one's more akin to the Kat Von D Lock-It concealer in formula and performance. I definitely think it's more comparable to it. It doesn't have the giant doe foot or anything. It's just a good long wear, not overly full coverage concealer. It's a little more forgiving and easy to work with compared to the L'Oreal Infallible, the CoverGirl Undercover Concealer, and the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This one just be a little bit easier to work with. Before we get into too much about this concealer and the demo, be sure to drop me a like down below and comment, subscribe. Yeah, let me know how you feel about these super long wear concealers. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Are you more of a Maybelline H1 kind of gal like me? Let me know down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that demo. Okay, hi. Let's demo some concealer. Where did I put the concealer? Behind my coffee, as usual. Always have it behind my coffee. Yeah, the eyes are a lot today. I'm doing a look with revisiting an old palette. That video should be up before this one, so I'll link it down below. This is one of those ones that are very full coverage and you gotta kind of work in sections because it's gonna set really quickly on you. But this one, unlike the others, has a smaller doe foot. It doesn't have the crazy huge buck foot as Emily Noel would say. Now I have the shade Pure Ivory, which is a little yellow on me. I should have went with Rose Ivory, but I don't think they had it in store or something. There was some reason I didn't get it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to apply this on my under eyes and blend it out with this little Sonia Kashuk concealer sponge because I don't want to mess up my eyeshadow and I kind of want to keep things nice and tidy. So what I'm going to do is start with doing one eye first. And this one you can do a little bit more liberally than I would say like the L'Oreal Infallible or the e.l.f. one or the CoverGirl one. So this one's a little bit different. I would compare it more to the Kat Von D Lock-It concealer. Yeah, just blend her out. This is damp, by the way. I think I just lifted my foundation off my cheek, but oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna add just a little more kind of down here in the cheek portion where I looks like I removed some of my foundation accidentally. And for foundation, I am using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow today. Revisiting another old favorite. I picked one up a while back and just kind of want to see if it's as good as I remembered. Yeah, it is. So I don't think this one has quite as strong a coverage as the other concealers I've been testing lately. These very Shape Tape, heavy duty, locked in tight for 24-hour coverage concealers, but this one does have a nice coverage. So if I can put a little bit more than I could with the other one, or the others. But yeah, the shade match is a little yellow. That is my fault though, because I gooped and bought the wrong one. I think my hands just immediately go for the lightest shade on the end and I don't look at what's next to it because I'm not used to there being more undertones at the drugstores there are now. They actually have undertones on their concealers. That's a pretty decent amount of coverage and brightening. So it's definitely not as full coverage as some of the other ones on the market right now, but I think it has a lovely formula. I'm gonna put a little bit down the nose and the chin. And kind of pull it up right here. Always put concealer like on my chin and other parts of the face to really for cohesiveness. I've actually used this concealer as my eyeshadow primer today, and it did lovely. Okay, I think everything's blended out nicely, as good as it's gonna get. So what I'm gonna do next is set the under eye with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose setting powder, which is my holy grail, and do my little knock the excess off here and go in and set. Same on the chin, which is my trouble spot. I tend to get some creasing right here. You know, some fine lines on the chin that like to get all creasy, and foundation and concealer like to get all bunched up in there. Go into the smile lines here and in the area where my pores are the biggest with the powder because it minimizes them. Lightly set the rest of the face with a brush here, tapping off most of the excess. And this is one of the most beautiful drugstore powders, or not just drugstore, just beautiful powders in general. Okay, and this is how it looks all set. And yeah, now back to the review. Alright, that was the demo, and this is the look all finished, obviously. Yeah, I think the concealer looks pretty good. Let me get in my little mirror up here real close. Let's look at my magnified mirror and see what's going on. Yeah, it's not creasing too bad at all. It looks pretty good under the eye. And yeah, I think this is a pretty nice concealer. It looks nice, it's not creased, and it's not migrating. It's still in place where I put it. But as you saw in the demo, it blended on, applied pretty easily. It doesn't set down quite as fast as the Infallible or the CoverGirl Undercover, where you gotta really get in there and blend super fast, especially the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. There's no playtime with that one. This one you get a little bit more of a grace period. It still will set down pretty fast, so I do recommend doing one portion at a time, blending, moving on, then making sure it's not creased, then setting. I just feel like that works best with these very full coverage. I don't want to say heavy, I'm not meaning it in a bad way, I just mean more pigmented concealers. They're just a little more heavy duty. Like, they're not just a touche éclat, they are Shape Tape. They are TV paint stick concealers. So let's talk about some of the claims and the formula of this concealer. According to Milani, it is creamy and full coverage. It is very creamy and pretty emollient. It will set down pretty quickly on you, so it's not going to just stay like that forever. It does dry down and set. And I still do recommend doing the one portion at a time method and not doing your whole face and go back and blend. I would say pretty full coverage. It's not quite as full coverage as maybe Shape Tape or the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear, but it is pretty good coverage. I definitely say it's comparable to the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer, which is a fairly full coverage concealer, but it's not quite as heavy duty as, say, Shape Tape. It also claims to be water resistant. I haven't tested that beyond just some humidity in the Louisiana heat, and it's held up pretty well. It claims to have 12-hour wear. I think I have worn it for almost 12 hours, I'm pretty sure, and it has worn really well. You can see some up-close pictures and a wear test, like a full day wear test over on my blog. I will link that in the description. There's some close-up shots where you get to see exactly how it performed throughout the entire day. This concealer is also formulated with vitamin E to replenish and moisturize the skin, what keeps it from being not so drying on the under eye. It's one thing with these really highly pigmented matte concealers is they can be really drying and they can emphasize fine lines and wrinkles. And nobody wants that. You don't want to have to sacrifice the texture of your under eye just for some coverage, right? So it's really hard to get the best of both worlds with a concealer. They're either going to be so drying that they're gonna look so creasy and cakey under your eye, but you'll get the coverage and your dark circles will be gone, or you're gonna have dark circles but you're gonna have smooth under eyes. It's like one or the other. This is one of the few that you'll kind of get a little bit of both, best of both worlds with. But I do think the vitamin E really does help and keep it looking a little more fresh than some of the others I've tried. I do think it is best applied with a light hand and just take it slow and build from there and see what coverage you need. Yeah, the Milani Conceal and Perfect comes in 18 shades. I am shade 100 Pure Ivory. It is a little yellow on me, but I kind of make it work. I balance it out with powders and stuff, so it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, there's 18 shades and a nice range. I think they have just expanded again their foundation line, so I imagine they'll probably be adding even more shades of this as well. So yeah, overall I like the formula. I think it's a great foundation. I think it's a great concealer if you're on the market for one that's still full coverage but not too heavy, too cakey, too drying. I think this is a nice compromise. Is it my holy grail concealer? No. However, if I did come across the Ivory Rose shade and it looked like a good match, I would pick it up and try it. While it may not be my holy grail, it's still a great formula and definitely worth checking out if you're on the market for a new concealer and looking for something with a little more coverage. Yeah, it retails for $8.99, which is not a bad price. And don't forget to check for sale, coupons, extra care bucks, all that. Don't pay full price for drugstore because you do not have to. But yeah, the formula is also vegan and cruelty free, and yeah, I think this is a good one. So yeah, that's it for today. I will probably have another concealer review coming up next week, if not the next. And then maybe we'll do a smackdown of all these full coverage concealers and see which one is the best at the drugstore. I think that's a good idea. Anyway, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your favorite concealer at the moment. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye now.